Country Club. A big thanks to Gary Ellington and Stephanie up there for taking us around and showing us a good time. Check out sportstalkmkc.com for the full review. But we're going to go to the phone line now because I think joining us now is Royal Man. Casey,
Yep.
How you doing tonight, Casey Royal Man?
How are you doing? I'm doing well.
You know what? Casey Royal Man is, in my opinion, are you the only Royals super fan?
No, I actually found out after I started doing it because since I've always been at the games or listened to them on the radio when they were on the road, I never watched them on TV really. There's one other guy that the FSN guys really like, and his name's Superfan Chris. He's a really neat guy. Him and I have actually become pretty decent friends after I started doing this, but there's two of us. And we usually hang out in the outfield or over in the Sonic Slam seats area. But, yeah, there's two of us, and we're having a good time doing it.
Now, the Superfan Chris, does he do an outfit like you do?
He actually started doing his on accident, and it's kind of grown from there. He has seen a lot of games on the road, which I've done too. I just have never done them in the suit. But he goes and watches the games on the road. And one time he was down in, I believe he said, I can't remember if he said Houston or Arlington, one or the other. And he was down there, and he was trying to hang his Kansas City Royals flag over the upper deck Raptors, and they wouldn't let him. And so he wrapped it around his back, and they showed him on TV as a cape, and they showed him on TV, and it kind of took off from there for him. And so his is just the cape, and then he wears a different Royals shirt. He's got a baseball cap, and he's got these blue striped pants and tall blue socks and Royals tennis shoes.
Now, your outfit is the blue tights, the gold shorts, and the blue cape, right?
Blue spandex up and bottom, gold shorts, and a golden cape with the reverse color logo, like what's on the back of the Crown Vision. Now,
you are a huge Royals fan, obviously.
Yeah.
And you decided to do this year. Is this right?
Well, this is the first year I did it. I started to formulate the idea last July. I was standing out on the Pepsi porch, and I was like, the Chiefs have all these super fans, and I had, like I said, never seen Chris. I was like, the Royals should have some too. I mean, baseball is every bit as good as football to me, and I'm a huge football fan too, but, I mean, I love baseball. My whole heart and soul, I love baseball. And I wanted to do something like that, so I started to formulate the idea, played around with it. I talked to Tim that does all the stuff on Crown Vision at the games, and I said, hey, what would you think if I did this? Would it be too over the top, or, would the Royals kind of grab onto it and think it was cool and not ask me to stop doing it or something like that? And he said, oh, it'd be great, let me know if you do it. I'll come out and talk to you, what have you. And I thought, okay, well, I'll give it a go and see what happens with it. And so I called around and got an estimate on what it cost to get the suit made, and decided to go ahead and get the suit made, and then started doing it opening day this year.
What did it cost to get this suit made? Royal Man?
I got it done by a designer, and it was $400.
Wow.
And that's not counting the boots that everybody's in love with, which you can just get online. Those were another $65.
Well, let me ask you a question. How old are you?
I don't know if I want to admit that, but I'm 29.
Okay, well, I'm 27, and why in God's name are you a Royals fan? Because, like I said, I'm 27. We haven't been given a reason to be Royals fans, really, with the play on the field.
Jed, you were 2 years old when they won the World Series. Don't you remember that?
No.
Hey, Royal Man believes, Jed.
I do, too. I'm as optimistic as anyone.
He's drinking the Blue Banzai Punch.
But what spot
I don't know. I guess I've always been a sucker for a loser. I grew up in central Nebraska, and we didn't have pro teams. I mean, of course, we had the Huskers, and you grew up a Husker fan, so I'm sure all your listeners hate me. But
loser. No, we like you because you said that.
But I grew up a Husker fan. But for baseball, you had what was on TV. So you had KC, Atlanta, and Chicago. And then when I got a little older, I adopted the Colorado Rockies because they came to be. And then as I got older and made my own opinions, I became a huge Royals and Rockies fan because those were the two teams that were closest. And I still love the Cubs. They were always fun to watch, and they've got such a great history. But there was always something about Kansas City, and my family came here almost every year for vacations, the Worlds of Fun and what have you growing up. So I was always kind of inundated with Kansas City sports. And so when I moved back to the Midwest and I moved out to Kansas City, it only made sense for me to start going to baseball games because that's what I love to do. And the Royals were it. And I will cheer for them through 100 losses, through, God forbid, 120 losses, or, 90, 100 wins. And I know everybody thinks that Dayton Moore's an idiot and what have you, but if you really look at how baseball's built, he actually has done a really good job with this minor league system. And I'm kind of on the boat now that I'm going to, I get really disappointed with what happens on the field. But I am really pushing hard to give it through 2012 to see what these kids are going to do. And give a chance for this team to be what it can be.
You segued perfectly into my question, and I was going to ask, obviously you're from Nebraska. Did you go to a lot of the games up at Omaha, and what do you think of what Dayton Moore is doing? But you already touched on that, so just touch on the Omaha thing.
I try to get down to a Royals game, an Omaha Royals game every year. I've succeeded the last 3 or 4 years. I don't know. I'm really trying hard this year. In fact, through doing this, I've met on Twitter some of the promo people from the Omaha Royals, and they want me to come down, and they want both Chris and I to come down and do a game with them and give us a little love. And I want to go down because I want to see Alex Gordon play in Omaha. I think it'd be great. I think it'd be a lot of fun because that team right now is so good, and who knows what another month might bring. You know, you might see even more of those AA guys getting called up to the AAA level. And if they do, that team's only going to get better. But I would love to see the Omaha Royals make the playoffs this year and then try to go down and catch an Omaha Royals playoff game. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
You know, Royal Man, Eric Hosmer and Mike Moustakas invited to the Futures game, which is going to be at the Royals game. But Tank and I here in the garage were actually thinking about going to a Northwest Arkansas, the Naturals game, to see Moustakas play. Have you made it down to Arkansas?
I have never been down to a game at Arkansas, and I talked to some people from Arvest the other day, and they were up from Arkansas to Kansas City, and they say it is one of the most beautiful minor league parks that's out there. I tell you what, guys, if you got an extra seat in the car when you go down, you're willing to have a super fan go with you. I'll even bring the costume if you want me to. I would love to go.
You can bring the costume, but you can't wear it in the car because it might turn these guys on.
Honest to God, I don't wear this. I wear the costume to games, and usually I wear it home. But I always have a shirt on.
Hello.
And I have a pair of wind pants in my car if I need to stop somewhere and get gas or something. I usually take the costume off. Honestly, everybody thinks I'm an attention whore, and I'm really not.
Royal Man, you can go. You can wear the costume down to Arkansas with us. I think it'd be a great time, and not only that, but. If you you go on road trips to the Royals games. I think I saw the Fox Sports show you, like in the audience. Maybe it was Cleveland or somewhere else that they showed you.
Chris.
Oh, was that Chris?
That was Chris, and he's been really good about going. He works for the Postal Service, and he gets he's worked for them since he was in high school. He gets 4 weeks of vacation a year, and he just turns it in. He saves it all for the summer, and he takes it for Royals games. And this year's been. I'm stuck in the recession like most of America, so I had to cancel some plans I had for road games this year. But we're hoping, a couple of us are hoping to go up to Minnesota possibly, and maybe a White Sox game. So there's still hope to get out there this year. Next year I've got big plans for doing some road trips if everything will fall into place for me.
Now, how did you fare out there this weekend with all the Cardinal Red in the Royal Blue Stadium?
Well, this is really disappointing to say, but like I said, I got to work. I don't get paid to do this. This is just for fun.